Um, Welcome everyone to Interview Mondays. I'm your host again, Assis Mbuyu, and welcome to Inspire SA on this lovely Wednesday. It's a bit cold here in Durban, but hey, who can complain? Complain. Um, I hope everyone is enjoying the afternoon, and we're really looking forward to today's interview with our special guest, Isaac. Um, I'm looking at his resume and his portfolio right now, and I really don't know where to start announcing him. All I can just say is that he's a CEO. He has a startup company. He's also a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. He's also a good friend of mine. I can say that, and I'm really gonna be lost for words if I continue reading down the list. So I'm just gonna welcome him onto the show. Welcome, Isaac. You good?
Yes, man, I'm good, bro.
Awesome, awesome. And welcome to Inspire SA. It's really good to have you on the show today.
Nah, man, I'm honored to be here, bro. We've been watching the
Aw-
work and the number of guests that you've had. I'm just happy to be part of the list.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So as I said, your portfolio, your resume is really long. Can you just tell the audience a bit about yourself for us to get started? Because not everyone knows who you are. So why not the best person to talk is you.
Okay, so I am I'm a product of two immigrants that came from the DRC to South Africa, um, and throughout their journey, as they progressed, coming here, having not knowing anything, they became very independent.
Looks like Isaac is having connection issues. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, I got kicked out there for a second. Yeah, I was saying, throughout their journey, coming to South Africa and not knowing anything, not knowing anyone, not knowing the language, um, and me being at a young age, but old enough to understand and to see their progress, that had a huge impact in my life and my mindset. I was able to embody the level of capability that my parents had, and to see that, look, if they could do what they could do with the level of limitations they had, um, how much more can I do, so that was always a driving factor in my entire life, from high school to onto um, from high school onto university, and to now. Like, that has been the driving force, knowing that my parents could come from a foreign land and get here and be able to take us from point A to point B, and point B being, we came here and we were like, um, really poor, like absolutely had nothing, and I can see the difference and the impact they've had on the society as a whole, on the community, and that has been my motivating factor. That has
Mm,
been that's who I am. I'm the son of immigrants, and that's where I get my entrepreneurial nature from. That's where I get my communication ability from. That's where I get every single thing. My ambitions come from the fact that I am from such a background, and
okay.
all of that drives me and moves me forward. And I did an engineering degree, electrical engineering at UKZN. Um, and that also just consolidated my passion for technology and science and engineering and mathematics, because I was looking at a practical means of applying my passion for science and mathematics. I wanted to be a physicist, but I was like, I need something more practical, so I went for engineering, because engineering was much more practical.
Mm,
um, so there's that, and then in university I joined a bunch of clubs, a bunch of student societies, and through that I met a lot of people. I grew my network, and I got exposed to a lot of different opportunities, right? So such as Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. I was part of the first cohort of ambassadors, I think in 2019, and there was like six of us, and I was just so
Mm,
happy and honored to be part of such a club or such a group of people. And then from there, we grew. Um, and in my journey through university, I then met some of my other co-founders, where we built the company that we now have today, which is Oringo Technologies. And our mission back then was quite clear. The mission was to transform Africa. Our mission was to allow Africa to become a production powerhouse. We really felt like that was the solution, for getting us to where we need to be. Like that was the drive. Look, we just sat down and two gents got together and
again. Sorry about that. Isaac, again, the network is not on our side today.
yeah, it's not working on our favor, bro. Yeah, but um, two gents got together and and we just kept bouncing ideas off each other, and we were feeding off each other's energy. And that energy then inspired other people to join and inspired other people to believe in our dream, and we're able to communicate as to what the dream is, to a point now where we are fully established, and we're not fully established, but like we are operational. And we are just coming out of our prototyping phase, where we can now start having our pre-orders and whatnot, and accessing different markets that we have accessed. Our mission has been clear from the get-go: impact, and impact. Um, we're trying to change the minds of the youth through education, right? So we build an assemblable drone. And that drone, it allows kids to understand STEM and understand how to produce. And that was the whole purpose behind that device or that tool. Or yeah, so like that's the whole purpose of that, to change the mindsets, to allow people or children to understand that they are builders and they can build, and it is within their capabilities. So
Mm.
that is, in a nutshell, that is us. So that's where I'm currently at. I think I'm going on for too long.
No, it's fine. I mean, the more you talk, the more insights to ask, because like I said, there's a whole bunch. I don't even know where to start. So you've really mentioned a lot of insight, and I really enjoyed your story, man. Yeah. So speaking about education that you've spoken today, we'll be basically talking about self-branding or personal branding. It goes by
Hmm.
many names, right? And it's really crucial about it in today's society, especially in the workspace. Considering that you're even a startup, that was really crucial in one of your startup, I would say. So in your own words, can you tell us what is personal branding? Even myself, I do not know about it, but I've heard people talk about it and heard people tell me that I must have it. So for us who don't know, for the audience who doesn't know, can you tell us what personal branding is or self branding is?
Okay.
Can you tell us more about it?
So um, personal branding is basically the image you create in society, right? The image you portray of yourself, right? Now, that image can be used to give you the credibility you require. That image could be used to give you the influence you require, you know? So, like, it's basically how you structure your persona so that you get what you actually want or what you actually need, right? So, for
Mm,
me, in my journey of personal development, but also personal branding more, um, is that I knew exactly the field that I was in, or I knew what was going to make me unique, right? What was going to be my brand? What is Isaac? And I just had to look throughout my life and my experiences and what I've done thus far to know that, what, my two passions are community and technology, right?
mm,
Those are my two passions. So that's my brand. I have to structure myself in accordance to that, because that's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I can spend the whole day talking about, right? Those two
mm,
things, community work and technology. I can spend the whole day talking about those things. So then in my journey, I then structured myself to be that person, right?
mm,
I structured myself to be that kind of person. When you look at me online, when you look at me when I communicate, when you look at my history, my background, it always speaks to those two things. This guy is about technology and the community. So
mm,
that is an example of how somebody can say, okay, this is my personal brand, this is what I'm about. So when people look at you and people see you, they don't have to think too much. They know you the guy for this. Yeah, yeah.
Now I understand. That's actually a good point. For the one point that I picked up from what you've just said is that I have to know myself first. I have to like really dig deep and find out what I'm really passionate about, what drives me to do what I want to do. Basically, that's the first thing I picked up from what you just said. And that's just the startup of everything. So once I figured out what I want to do, or what how I want people to portray me, what's next? Like, how do I go about it? Because some now there's a thing of fear factor. Will people like this? Like, you don't really know. You can't please everybody. So how do you go about it? What's like the next phase?
Okay, so then the next phase is to figure out, how do I best articulate this, or how do I
Mm,
best say this to people, right? How do I best say that I am all about technology and community, right? Like, how do I show it? So you don't have to think twice and ask me about my credibility or my credential. All you just have to see is look at me, hear me speak, or see me online, and you know, okay, no, I don't have to ask about qualifications. I don't have to ask about credentials. This guy is all about this. Like, he just that's what he's all about. The first step is figuring out how to say everything, how to say who or what you're about. That's the first
mm,
step, figuring it out. And the best way to practice this is just to go to somebody that you do not know. And then when they're asking you who you are, you articulate it to them. You say, okay, this is who I am. I am Isaac. I'm all about this and this, right?
mm,
That's the best way. That's the next step, figuring out how to say it. Now, once you can master how you say it, right? It's now, how do I put that on a digital platform, right? How do I now
mm,
put that on paper? How do I now put that online? You know, so once you can then do that, because that's the next step. The first step is, how do I say this to people? How do people know what I'm talking about? And then after that,
mm,
it's on. Okay, how do I put this online so that other people, when they see me online or when they see me walking, I speak, I ooze that. That's me. That's what I'm about. You just look at me and you know, okay, this guy, this guy is just about technology and engineering and so on and so forth. Um,
mm,
so what I did, I was very purposeful about it. So like, another good tip. So after that level, right, after you figured out, okay, this is the type of content that is needed for me. These are the kind of pictures I should be taking. These are the kind of events I should be part of, because you've already said, look, this is me. I am about this and this and this, right? And if I
mm,
am about this and this and this, I need to portray a character that best fits that, right? A character that best fits that would be going to these kind of events, would be associated with these kinds of people, would be associated with these kinds of organizations, and so on and so forth. I mean, even if I just go through the list of organizations that I've been a part of, they either scream technology or they scream community work or community involvement, right? So for
mm,
me, that goes then back and reiterates the point about the personal branding being attached to exactly what you have articulated to yourself to be. I am under this field and this field, or this field in particular, or these fields. Then, okay, after that, now, so this is that's stage two. Stage one was articulation. Stage two was just being able to put that on a digital platform. Stage three for me, is to master an online platform. So master one that you're gonna that's the go-to, right? So it's either Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. Master a go-to platform where people can find you, right? And master one, because it's very difficult to master all social media platforms, right? So choose one and actually master it. I place so much investments personally in like LinkedIn, right? I figured out how to grow my following. I figured out how to structure my profile in terms of the different certifications that are needed, in terms of the bio. Every single thing must make
mm,
coherent sense with the persona that you want to portray to the world. You know,
yeah.
so even with that, like, I knew these are the type of certificates I should be getting, because this is the type of person I'm trying to portray, or I'm trying to show to the world. So I knew, okay, I need to get this type of certificate. My bio needs to look like this. And also always just look for mentors or people you look up to get inspiration as to what type of profile you need or what type of profile you should have. So yeah, I mean those are just a few things I have done in my own personal life to getting me to uh to having that kind of profile, like where you just go online and you know exactly what I'm about, or you just speak to me and you know exactly what I'm about. Yeah, that's
That's really an interesting point. So basically, you are what you eat, or you are what you spend your time with, basically.
mm, mm.
And you've just reiterated that in like in more depth, and that's what I picked up from that. I see over here you have even the smallest of awards, even the smallest of accomplishments. I'm like, some people are scared to put that. I mean, this is nothing. Why would people think about? But you have it there, so exactly why do you have it there, and why it's important to put things like that, or why do you feel it was important to put it up?
Um, okay, so at the stage I was at when I was doing that, so I was literally on a rampage of getting qualifications and accreditations. Um, my goal there was to put my credibility to a state where it's unquestionable. Are you with me?
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
it's without a doubt. So if I'm talking about say robotics, right? It should be without a doubt that I'm the guy to be speaking about robotics, right? So I needed to make my personal brand speak to that, right? Without it being questioned by anybody. No one should come and look at your credentials or hear you speak and ask where you got that information from. It should be clear that based on the amount of energy you put into getting the right credentials for that, you're the right person to be speaking on that. So that's basically it. That's why I put them there. But at the time I was still in varsity, so my thinking was um I need to be the best engineer that comes out of this university. And to be the best engineer, make you need to be wholesome as an adult. So like you need to have more than just your degree, right? Your
Mhm.
marks. You need to have experience outside the world. You need to have different certifications that add add value to what you already got. So that was the approach, man. I knew I was not the A student. So if let's say we were to battle for a position, right? I knew I was not the A student, so I was gonna lose if I just had my qualification to rely on. So I then thought, okay, no, I'm a C student, and what would outshine an A student would be a lot of external work being added upon that. So, like, I'm a part of a lot of organizations. I have a lot of external certifications that have nothing to do with the degree. So I am more diverse and more experienced outside the degree than the average student. So that was my approach. I was like, I need to win in this in this climate, in this job market. That was the thinking behind it. But obviously, I didn't jump into entrepreneurship. So, yeah.
I see. Well, that's actually a good point. So basically, let the thing do the talking for you, basically,
Mm,
as you
mm,
said, because um, like you said, nowadays tradition they don't look at traditional degrees or diplomas or what. They look at what can you bring? Can you think outside the box? And as you said, these small achievements, it speaks a large volume when other people look at it. To you, it might seem
mm.
small, as you said, but to other people, to your employees, your future employees, etc., it may sound actually big. And now that you have it there, you didn't really need it, I would say. Like, how is it playing for you right now? Because you now have your own startup, you're not really employed. So, like, how is
Mm.
it really helping you? Because everybody's part is different. Some people who are gonna be working, it's gonna stand up for them. But for you, who you have your own startup, how is it like helping you as well, having all these small achievements here and there?
With that, I think for me, it's just to like, because I'm a very competitive person. So, for me, the small certificates or achievements or awards, they just add to the competition. It's like, okay, how many of these can I get? Well, that was the
Oh.
thinking back then. It was, how many of these can I get? So I'm just competitive about that. I was like, okay, um what, 50, let's get 50 certificates, let's see how that goes. um
Mm.
but the thing is, with all of those different certificates, you have to go through either a test or whatever, and you learn a lot in that process. You learn a lot
Mm.
about systems, you learn a lot about how to answer questions, you learn a lot about giving the answer that is required from you. And
Mm.
then that has been very instrumental in my journey as an entrepreneur. Like, I've used that knowledge in communication and everything, so much so that whenever I communicate with anybody, nobody ever asks me about any degree or any qualification. They just know I know. Like, nobody ever
Oh.
asks me like, okay, where did you study, did you finish, like, what were your marks, all of that. Nobody ever asks me that, because when I communicate, because of having exposed myself to a lot of different content, to a lot of different questions, to a lot of different fields in technology, because technology is vast, like really, really vast in terms of what you could do. And I've exposed myself enough to enough things that, like, being questioned about my credibility is very rare. Yeah. So it helps a lot. It helps a lot. It has helped a lot. Yeah, in my journey, it has helped a lot.
I see. Well, like what I'm taking from this theme is, or from what I'm like my major take back from today's session is like, let my CV or let my portfolio let it do the talking for me, and
Yeah,
that's like
man.
it's really inspiring me right now, and thanks for that. I mean, as I also look at, as you also mentioned, you mentioned that you are part of all this organization and all these programs. Like, first of all, like, where do you get all the energy to do all of this? Like, all the time to get to partake in all of this. I mean, like, it's really really astonishing, man. When I'm looking at it right now. I mean, I know it's helped. We're gonna talk about how it has helped you, but first of all, how in the world did you manage to do all of this? In the world did you manage to partake in all
Okay,
of these
okay. I've been called a workaholic. I've been called a workaholic because I wake up at 5 every day and I sleep at 12 every day. So,
things?
I'm a workaholic, bro. Like, I don't know. Um, yeah, I'm a workaholic, bro. Like, there's nothing else I can say. I mean, I work too much. My philosophy is just to outwork everything and everyone.
Mm.
So, yeah, like, yeah, I don't even make up. I don't even have excuses. Like, I'll be at work and I'll be juggling three things at once. Yeah, it's just it's just the nature of the game. I'm
I,
a workaholic, man. I'm a workaholic. I won't even. There's no other excuse there.
I see. Well,
Yeah.
for me, it's really inspiring me when I'm seeing this. I mean, for the audience watching, if you really want to see his resume, just go to his LinkedIn profile. It's there on the posters. You can just see and see for yourself what I'm talking about. So yeah. Now, how exactly did this help you in your personal branding? Like to
So,
help you build your portfolio.
the credibility, the certificates, or the what
The joining
exactly?
of different programs.
Oh,
The
joining
joining.
different programs. Okay,
Mm.
so with that, the thinking behind that was to gain it in as much experience as possible in as little time as possible.
Mm.
Yeah. So if I'm in, like, say, three different organizations, and I hold like three different leadership positions in each, okay, um, the amount of things I am learning and experiencing in all those three different positions is giving me experience that I can now use and leverage when I'm communicating to somebody, or when I'm applying for a thing or whatever. When I'm communicating, I can leverage all of that experience, whether it be a leadership experience, whether it be, say, in finance or whatever position I'm in. I can leverage that experience in any application I make or in anything I do, and it just adds back to that credibility, right? Back to that credibility. Another part of joining all of these organizations, if you notice, most of them are social based, right? They have social, they are social, they're centered around people, right?
mm,
People development in whatever field, like Engineers Without Borders, Global Shapers, etc. Like all of those are centered around helping people. So it just speaks. So even that itself, the organization go back to speaking to the brand that I'm trying to showcase to the people, which is technology and community. So the social organizations that I'm a part of really speak to the social elements of my personal brand. So that's how they
mm,
get back into it. They show. So like if I'm in the space where I am with social people, like I'm with the social entrepreneurs in social enterprises, like my communication with them and my networking with them allows me to leverage that back into my personal brand, because now if I'm always seen with these people who are doing work for the community, then that's just basically speaking back to my personal brand,
mm,
as well as with the social or the organization that speak to technology and etc. If I'm always interacting with them and I'm in their space and I'm one of the voices that speak on behalf of that space, it speaks back again to my personal brand, which is the technology and the social. So they work hand in hand. And even if you look at how I've selected the organizations that I'm a part of, they all speak to either community or technology engineering. Like that's my space, and that those are the organizations I'm associated with. And obviously these are all voluntary based organizations, so there is no money to be made from that. The only money I saw was the value that they would add to my personal brand, and that's what I'm working with, because now I know I can use that experience in somewhere else, or I can use the connections or the network somewhere else to develop myself and to move
mm.
myself forward. So like that's the thinking behind all of that.
I see. They say money can't buy everything. Yeah, money really can't buy
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah, 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 yeah. But it can buy a lot.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really helps a lot, and I'm sure our audience who are watching us right now, they'll really get motivated to join voluntary based organizations and clubs, because as you said, it builds experience and it also speaks for yourself. It's basically also about influence, like what you influence yourself with or what you surround yourself with. This, as I said earlier on, you are what you eat, you are what you spend your time with, and that and your organization that you've been a part of speak for that. You are what you spend your time with. and and I'm really lost for words, man. Like I'm really inspired to now do my own portfolio, like in a likewise manner, like like in a likewise manner, to even add the small details, because it really goes a lot. um I know that everybody's path is different, and we may not always face the same challenges. Can you tell us some of the fears or some of the obstacles that you faced when creating your own personal brand? Who you are,
Mm.
any challenges, circumstances, anything that you faced that you
Um,
would like to share with the people?
yeah. So the only scary part is that initially you're gonna feel like you're lying, right? You're gonna feel like a what's this the imposter syndrome,
Imposter
right?
syndrome,
You're gonna
yes.
yeah, because initially you're gonna portray somebody that you feel like you're not. It's gonna feel like you're lying, but over time, I think the saying is that habits become or little or behaviors, right, becomes habits, and then habits becomes character, right? So
Mm,
if you tune your behavior to be the persona that you want to portray to the world, right, that behavior is going to turn into habits. Those habits over time become your character. Now once it's your character, there's no more denying that that is you. That's when you have reached a point where people will not question that you are the person that you're saying you are, because it's part
mm,
of your character. You live it. People look at you and
mm.
they say, okay, that is the person that should be talking about the things he's talking about. So yeah, it's just a nice message and a flow, they change your
Mm.
behaviors to fit the person that you want to be. Those behaviors become habits. The habits will become your character, and you move from there.
I see. Well, I can even tell from the way you're speaking, right, man. Like from the first moment we met up until today, I'm like, I can just tell you're the right man for it and everything that you're part of. Just speak for that. I didn't know that. I thought it came to you naturally, but as you just said that it took time to get where you are, to speak the way you are speaking right now. And as they
Mm.
say, good things take time. Good things really,
Yes.
really take time. So thank you for those insights. It's really beneficial for myself and for those who are watching us. I'd like to now focus on more of your on the company Ringo. And I know you mentioned a bit about it earlier on. Can you like tell us more about it? And and does it anyway also help in your branding? Because like even Inspire, say I like to teach people, I like to share my knowledge, and that's why we have this channel over here. And like how do those two relate, if
Okay.
you
So Oringo, as I mentioned earlier on, the whole mission behind it is turning Africa into a production powerhouse. And
mm,
that is a mission or a responsibility we undertook as an organization or as a company. That it's our responsibility to make Africa a production powerhouse. It's on us,
mm,
right? Nobody else. We're not going to ask for anybody's help. We're not going to cry at anybody. We're going to start working towards making Africa a production powerhouse. Our resources, our energy, our time will be dedicated to making Africa a production powerhouse. And if that's the case, we have to really think long term and set out a plan that's going to outlast us, that's going to outlive us, you know. So we then
mm,
thought, okay, who are doing these things at the scale that we want it to be done? We looked at China. We're like, yo, China has got a nice blueprint for us to follow. And we then thought, okay, if we're gonna be doing things the way China is doing them, or get to ourselves to a point where, like, you know, we're producing to the level that China is producing, we need to change the mindset of the people, right? So in that process, we then developed this technology, right? We then developed our drone, our assemblable drone. So it's a drone that you can disassemble and put back together. And then in that process, it comes with comprehensive learning content, right? That allows you to understand what's happening. So all the science that's behind it, all that technology that's behind it, all the engineering and mathematics that's behind it, you are able to learn and understand it from a fundamental basis. Right,
mm.
and with that, it's also connected to the curriculum here in South
Curriculum.
Africa. Yeah, so it's also connected with the CAPS curriculum here in South Africa, um, so that students are able to learn something in class and link it to a real physical, a real life example of how to apply the knowledge they're learning in school. And that's what we're doing currently right now. And this is just the like this is just the step one out of step 1000, you know, in terms of what we need to do to getting Africa to becoming a production powerhouse, because we're thinking
Mm,
really long term. So we're willing to put our time and effort into getting it done. So we're thinking, okay, we're going to spend our beginning stages focusing on education and focusing on mindset shift, right? So that
mm,
people believe that they can actually build the way we believe that we can build. You know, everybody in the organization in Oringo believes that they can build. Actually believe that they can change something that was just an idea in your head to a physical object, to a physical thing that they can touch and hold and be able to sell and be able to showcase to people. And we need to take that mindset and put it into the children that are coming after us, so that by the time we are an established company and we are doing the things that the production and everything and manufacturing, we have people who appreciate, first of all, understand how to operate and can consume it and understand why they're consuming it. Are you with me? So
mm,
in either way, either they're going to work with us or they're going to purchase from us. We are cultivating our future customers and our future employees and our future leaders through this program. And that was the thinking behind it. Obviously, after we've passed this phase, we then want to look at, okay, how do we better systemize the whole process of manufacturing just to be broadened, right? But this is our
mm,
initial step. This is our initial step. Let's focus on the minds of the youth so that they can even assist us in the next few years in developing better concepts, in developing better systems and techniques. So that's where we're at right now. The current phase we're at, we've just completed the product, the prototype. So we actually have a working model that we can use. Um, and and the prototype is finished, and we are just about to do marketing for pre-orders, right? So you can order in advance, and then in a month or a few weeks time, your shipments will come to you and be delivered to you. Our business model is quite simple currently right now. What we do is we offer tutoring services, we offer workshops for high schools and for kids and for organizations. We also offer upskilling services. So we upskill your whole staff in terms of 4IR and robotics and IoT. We upskill in those fields, and as well as the sales of the drone. Obviously, we just obviously hardcore selling them to people and seeing who actually appreciates and sees the value that we're trying to give out to the world, to Africa in
Mm,
particular. So that's the story behind Oringo. How it links back to my personal branding is that, as you can see, us changing the mindsets of the youth has a trickling impact on the education, has an impact on the economy of the country. So that touches on the community side of my personal brand. And then as we go back to the manufacturing, that touches on the technology side of my brand. So even the company itself fully speaks Isaac, or speaks the brand of Isaac, and can be incorporated in the brand as well. So I
mm.
have stayed true to the brand that I've created, even in the companies that I'm part of, even in the work that I'm doing. So that's just, yeah, I don't know if I can
Wow.
say anymore.
Like,
Yeah.
man, like really, it's really inspiring hearing what you've done. Basically, this is like your life work till date. Like, because of
Yes.
everything you've mentioned, it's all put in one: education, technology, upskilling, community, all put in one. And I'm like, as you are just speaking, I'm like, wow, in my head, like, wow. Like really, that's really astonishing to hear, man. And I hope people can get something from it, because as much as you're trying to develop a personal brand, you have to invest it in something. You have to put it in something that people will be able to recognize that, hey, this is you. Hey, this is what you're good for, and Oringo clearly speaks that for you, and I can testify for that right now. So we almost are running out of time. The last thing, or one of the last few questions that I have right now, pardon me, is support. You mentioned support when talking about Oringo. So usually people say surround yourself with like-minded people and everything like that. So how important is it that the people that you surround yourself with helps you to develop your self brand, or how crucial does it, or what crucial, or what role does it play in your brand, basically, the people that you surround yourself
Hmm.
with?
Hmm. So the people that you surround yourself with that being said, it's like um if I want to be the best football player, right? I need to be
Mm.
around football players. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm talking about. And not just that, I need to be around good football players, people who understand the game in and out, right?
Mm.
If I want to be any great, if I want to actually be great, if I'm actually serious about it, I wouldn't just be associating myself with soccer players or football players. I'll be associating myself with the best football player I can find in my region or in my area, right? That would
Mm.
be my mission in any single thing that I want to do, right, or achieve in life. I think it is even a quote in the Bible, in Proverbs. It says that your plans are frustrated without wise counsel, right? So if you have um, if you have an ambition, a goal, a mission, and you choose to go with it at it without counsel, people who have experienced it, right? People who have gone through it, people who are wiser than you. If you choose to go
Mm.
without that, your plans will be frustrated. It's not a suggestion, it's like a principle, it's like a law of nature, right? Like it will just happen to you, like you will fail because you choose to go without You choose to go at it without advice. Right?
Mm,
Advice is very crucial, but that all plays to who is around you for you to take the
mm,
advice from. Are you with me? So now
mm,
I cannot be wanting to become the best soccer player and I'm just stuck with engineers all day. Are you with me? Like I'll be good at
mm,
engineering, but that's not my plan. That's not my purpose. That was not my mission. And I will fail at what I actually want to do and succeed at other things. Um,
mm,
so that is very crucial. Your network is very crucial. But now to bring it back to personal branding, right? Now, if I said, okay, I'm really, really passionate about the community work, I am very, very passionate about technology, right? I need to associate myself with the best people in technology. I also need to associate myself with the best people in community work, right? For me to put myself at a level of beyond reproach, I need to be in the network of people that are beyond reproach,
mm.
right?
Wow.
So that is the mission. So now, if that is the case, so I think I've laid it out okay enough for you to understand why you need to now start looking for people or for networks or for organizations or for groups of people that can push your brand forward, right? And they have
Mm,
to be the best in that field. If you're interested in agriculture, you need to speak to the best farmers out there. You need to be part of the groups, you need to be part of the organizations, you need to be part of the conversation, right? People should be asking for your opinion. You should set yourself up that you are asked for you are asked you they ask for your opinion when matters arise in that sector. That
mm,
should be your goal in every single thing you do, right? You should set yourself up to be the voice of that field, and you won't go wrong like that. Once you're at that stage, I think then you can then say, I fully encapsulate that persona or that brand that I'm talking about, because I am the voice of authority in that brand. Like I speak on behalf of that brand, I speak on behalf of
mm,
this industry, you know. So
mm.
yeah, that's basically it in terms of the importance of that.
I see. Really well said. Like in high school, they used to know that was really good with computers, and then they're like the IT guy, the IT guy. And like, and plus, I also used to surround myself with like-minded people, and I can see that it's evident today, and I just have to build on it. And to end off, what can you say to people like me? To like, how can we like build on top of what we have currently. Like as I mentioned, I have like something small. I have like a small soft brand now. How do I take it to the next level? How do I extend it? I hope I'm not repeating the same question because I feel like I've asked it before earlier on. But how can I
Mm,
upgrade? How do it like how can people now upgrade their personal brand from starting
mm.
from like a startup to now a more recognized or more reputable brand, basically, if you get what I mean.
Mm. So how can we get ourselves from just having a normal profile to being reputable, right?
Yes.
The first thing is to actually have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need a plan. You can't just be
Mm,
doing things, you know? Like if you say you're part of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you know, like what is the outcome out of that? What is the goal behind that? You have to have a goal. Otherwise you're gonna fail. Um while being in the right area at the right time, you're going to fail because you do not have a goal or a mission with that
mm,
with that adventure that you're partaking, or that journey that you're partaking. So have a plan for every single thing. Like every single organization I was part of, I had a plan. Um either I wanted to lead that organization so I can gain the leadership skills, or I wanted the association or the network that it came with. I had a plan. Like even like the projects that were implemented, I knew they would lead me to getting more experience, but then also being able to practice out some of my ideas, because I would be given the resources to do so. So first and
mm,
foremost, have a plan in every single thing that you join, every single thing that you do. Getting the certificate, like what is the point of that certificate? What value does it add to you? You know, so that so basically what I'm saying is that structure a plan. Structure a plan. Have a plan is the best thing that you could do. Have a plan for what you're doing. Don't just do things for the sake of doing it, or just because the opportunity arises, right? Have a plan for it. So if a new opportunity arises, take it, right? Don't be afraid to take it. But then once you take it, have a plan for it, because once you've taken it, you're responsible for the success, that the success or the failure that comes out of it. So have a
Mm,
always plan, and always strategize. But good plans and good strategies come with wise counsel. That's why you have to go back to finding a network of people that will advise you. But just plan. Like,
I see.
don't just be moving idly. Have a plan for everything. Have an exit plan as well for most of the things that you're part of. Like, if you're going to enter something, have an exit plan. You should be that far. You should think, okay, what is the legacy I want to leave behind in this organization? Right?
Mm,
I want to be known as the guy that did this and this and this for this organization. Or I want to be known for this and this and this. That's why I'm doing all of these different things. Have a plan, have an image, have a vision of where you're seeing yourself with this organization, or this network that you're part of. All of these things, have an outcome that you're seeing. See the outcome, and that allows you to make a plan that is structured. And once you have a plan that's structured, then you have won most of the battle. That's my
mm.
last. That's my last piece of advice. Yeah.
I understand. Well said, man. Like really, I'm touched by everything you just said, and it's just pushing me to like to build upon what I have. And for those who are watching, for those who are also getting started with their own personal brand in their life at the beginning of their careers, I'm sure this will really help them. It's almost time. Is there anything like you would like to say to the audience before you leave? Because I've really enjoyed the session and I've taken a lot from it. Any last words from you? And I really appreciate you coming tonight. And it was really an awesome, insightful session. And thanks again. Yeah.
Okay. All I would request from the viewers is just follow me on LinkedIn, Isaac Mongali. Follow Oringo Technologies on LinkedIn and Instagram. Oringo Technologies. Just type out Oringo Technologies, and you'll find us on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And just follow. Also, just send a message on LinkedIn. I will definitely respond, and just say, if you send a message on LinkedIn, just say what's Inspire Session, and I know you're one of the cohort that watched, and I'll put my time to communicating with you, and interact with you. That's pretty much it, man. Just
Awesome.
follow us on Instagram, and LinkedIn, and yeah, that's all, guys.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming
Nice.
on to the show, Isaac. It was a really great honor having you on the show.
No,
Awesome.
thanks, man. The honor is mine.
Awesome. I'll see you then. Bye.
All right, bye.
So there you go, and there you have it. I really don't know what you would take from it. I have my own take. I have my own lessons that I've taken. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to say, just you know, just ask Isaac, and and he'll help you with any of the questions that you have. All these socials are on the post; you can just follow it. Speaking about tomorrow we have something new coming up. We have introduction to AI gaming. AI gaming is coming to South Africa. AI gaming is coming to Inspire SA, and I will be thrilled to be demonstrating it with the AI team as well. So stay tuned to that, and please don't forget to subscribe. Tell people about Inspire SA, and most importantly, be inspired with technology. That's what we go for. And that's it all from me from tonight. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.